Marketing is a systematic thought process, and we're linked to the influence of marketing tactics daily through media activities, retail shopping, or even pop-up ads when browsing on the internet, which gives us all some idea about what marketing really might be about from a layman's understanding. However, these popular notions may detract from its professional meaning. In this introductory session, we're going to explore some marketing terms and theory to see how businesses conduct themselves in some form of exchanges between themselves and the consumer. Each learning outcome has been designed to build a foundation from which to develop your knowledge and skills that are essential to develop products and services. Marketing is essentially a planning process and needs to be core to an organisation and its sustainability. Don't muddle sales and marketing, since sales is almost the terminal part of the process and utilises different techniques. Marketing has been defined by Kotler 2013-664 as the process by which companies create value for customers and build strong customer relationships to capture value from customers' return. This definition is important to understand, since in competitive markets, no one can afford to lose customers or their loyalty despite a plethora of similar products and services. Click onto Figure 1. Here you'll see a diagram that shows how different the concept of selling and marketing are. And principally, selling is seen as an inside-out view that focuses on existing products, whereas marketing is an outside-in view that focuses on satisfying customer needs. In both cases, profit remains essential to the completion of the process. The marketing approach to achieve profit may be used in ways you may not fully understand or appreciate. For example, in hospitality and tourism, prices paid for airline, hire cars and hotels use a market-led process based on market behaviour and segmentation of consumers in an increasingly sophisticated way. Marketing has evolved through 5 recognised eras and in part mirrors economic, industrial and technological development. The first era is often referred to as the simple trade era and reflects time prior to or the period pre-industrial revolution. It was dominated by trading commodities and may have involved some exploration, but naturally was essentially within geographic or national boundaries with limited opportunity to export. This era was replaced by the production era of the Industrial Revolution, where mass production and opportunity to export grew, but there were few alternative product options available. Competition certainly existed, but for the consumer products were limited in range. The production era lasted until the 1920s and was partially interrupted by the Great War, World War I, in Europe and parts of the Far East. The sales era heralded a shift from the focus on production to the start of fledgling consumerism, where demand and competition grew, where market share had to be fought for through pricing strategies, developing competitive advantage. After World War II, the economic boom was led by the USA and the need to rebuild the shattered European and Japanese economies, despite geopolitical divisions caused by communism. The emergence of the marketing department era saw a shift from sales orientation towards a new, more confident consumer boosted through greater affluence. Business consolidated and integrated all market-related activities, ranging from advertising, sales, promotions, and public relations into one department. The company or organisation moved from product or sales-led towards marketing-led. By the 1960s, economic and social changes shifted towards the marketing company era, where the focus had shifted towards businesses existed to address the needs and wants of the customer. Marketing was becoming an integrated strategy, not a bolt-on activity, and the consumer was king. The era was perhaps described as neoclassic, and the TV show Mad Men captures the spirit of the time. However, the era slowly evolved, and by the 1990s, the more sophisticated and experienced consumer led the way towards highly target consumer segments led by imagery and branding to satisfy leisure lifestyle behaviour, which meant the relationship marketing era, although quite short-lived, gave way to the current social mobile era. The fundamental theory and concepts in marketing, though, have not gone away. Accompanying this session are PowerPoint slides containing some basic concepts. Take some time now to study them in pre-preparation for the next session. In order to help you understand, the session looks at the following. Learning Outcome 1. Understand the concept and principles of marketing and their application. In this session, we'll start by looking at the marketing process. You will see the marketing process, and after studying it, you will see the focus remains on creating value for the customer and building upon the relationship through a process of research, designing strategies to construct an integrated approach to delivering value through matching products and services to meet customer needs, where the pricing, distribution, and value of the brand has been effectively communicated to the consumer, resulting in rewards through building loyalty and profit. The model simplifies a complex set of stages. The first 4 steps in the marketing process involves creating value for customers, with the final step seeing the company rewarded for building strong customer relationships by capturing value from customers. Providing superior customer value creates a highly satisfied customer who will be more likely to repeat buy over a longer period of time. The target customer has moved from the company identifying customer needs, building a good partner relationship, to a long-term, more sustainable relationship. In theory, this looks fine, but in practice, the company and its range or lack of products does influence how the relationship is managed over time. Now, imagine you've applied the marketing process to a product or service and need your product to meet the needs of your target customer. How your product or service needs to stand out from the rest depends on how you position it in relation to the competitors. It needs to be clear, distinctive, and desirable to your target audience, plus enhance it through differentiation. So the positioning may be based on quality, price, image, or use of a personality that the target audience may associate with to make the product develop competitive advantage. Differentiation is defined by Kotler as differentiating the market offering to create superior customer value. In practice, companies may take a product and enhance or add something more special, or alternatively, the product may be more specialized in order to attract a niche market. For your marketing strategy, you need to start with developing an integrated marketing mix, or sometimes known as the 4 Ps. Product, price, place, promotion. The marketing mix, or 4 Ps, is a set of tactical marketing tools that the company or organisation continuously blends or alters in order to respond to the customer wants in the target market to stimulate demand. So it's not a static plan, but a dynamic relationship in practice. If you look at Figure 3 based on the 4 Ps, you will see the target customers and intended positioning of the product are central to how the product, pricing, promotions, and place are manipulated to increase demand. To recap, we've looked at how companies and organisations develop customer value, how products may be positioned in the marketplace, and how differentiation helps distinguish products and services from competitors. In reality, to the observer, there are many products and services in the fast-moving consumer goods (FMCG) market that may confuse due to the clarity in differentiation being difficult to pin down. With so much choice, the purchase decision may be based on some emotional or image attachment that drives us to purchase the product. Practical exercise. For fun, take one of your favourite products, research the competitor or similar products, and then list what may have made your choice different. What did you find? Share the results with your friends. In the next mini session, we'll develop our understanding of the marketing mix by considering how to manage the market process. These 4 functions, analysis, planning, implementation and control, provides a feedback loop that are essential to manage and control. Now let's concentrate on management through how marketers use 4 functions of analysis, planning, implementation, control. In Figure 4, you'll see the stages or process of managing marketing that acts as a feedback loop with corrective action taking place. In reality, the corrective action may require in-depth market analysis, since consumer behaviour may change or your target market has aged and has different purchase needs and motivators. In terms of market analysis, one of the most effective techniques or tools is Swot Analysis that takes into account both internal and external factors that helps the company or organisation to be more effective in serving customers and achieve its goals. In practice, the technique quite often is good at telling the company what it is good at or not, plus threats are sometimes easy to find. However, the opportunities pose the greatest challenge, since many companies or organisations tend to focus their vision to short-term influences. Management and all holders of senior positions need a broader, more comprehensive overview of political, economic, social and technological change, and how that may influence future decisions, often referred to as Pest Analysis. Imagine, today there is research into some very specific fields of science and technology that may revolutionise society and the way it may function, and yet the context or impact may not be fully known, understood or appreciated. It cannot be ignored either, so management needs to somehow keep abreast of these issues. A practical exercise. Look through your home or personal possessions and look at what products have become redundant, and consider the time frame in which these changes happened. Share the results. Managing the marketing process has seen how analysis and use of techniques like SWOT enables the company or organisation to match strengths to attractive opportunities, overcome or eliminate weaknesses, and minimise threats. From this, marketing planning can develop for each business, product or brand with a market plan that is a strategic plan setting out objectives for the target market, positioning and budgets for expenditure, plus how value will be created for the customer. The marketing mix details how the company or organisation will tackle how the target market may respond. Once in place, budgets, controls to monitor progress and financial measure like return on investment are in place. Many managers and marketers also use SMART criteria in their marketing plan, and comes from a management technique called Management by Objectives, or MBO. This stands for specific, target a specific goal or improvement; measurable, quantify or have an indicator of progress; achievable, realistic goals; relevant, matches organisational goals or mission; time-bound, committed to due dates. So, the product launch, while the event may be exciting, it is only the start of the process. To sum up, managing the marketing process is dependent upon market analysis, effective planning and implementation, supported by a control process that allows corrective action. In the next session, we'll delve into how the regulatory and legal frameworks influence companies and organisations. It is a complex area, but we will look at the key influences that may act as a constraint and why there is a need for compliance. Okay, moving now, we will explore the legal and regulatory framework that impacts upon the operations of marketing and may act as a constraint for those companies working in the UK and European Union. Most economies in the developed and developing countries have some form of advanced regulatory and legal frameworks for which products and services must comply. The need for compliance may appear to be naturally obvious. However, socio-political pressures to tighten these regulatory and legal frameworks has come about through poor or misguided corporate governance. This session will look at the legal and regulatory framework and analyse whether these act as constraints or an inhibiting factor in the marketing and development of products and services. It's also important to distinguish between regulations that cover manufacturing and those that are aimed at consumer protection. In the UK, the legal process is quite complex as it covers legislation or laws passed by Parliament, case law called tort, and voluntary codes of conduct, for example, Code of Advertising Practice, being overseen by the Advertising Standards Authority. Generally, advertising is required to be an accurate description of the product or service, legal, decent, truthful, honest, and socially responsible. There are also specific requirements for certain sectors, for example, food, alcohol, beauty products, environmentally friendly products, medicines, and tobacco. These regulations also cover non-broadcast media and broadcast media, which specify standards for advertising to children, avoid causing offence and political advertising. Direct marketing techniques through the use of mail, phone calls and email are covered too through specific schemes like Mail Preference Service. With web advertising, cookies, small data packets that track user behaviour, if being used, must be notified to the user even if the browser settings may be blocking the use of them. With the growth of e-commerce and the increasing use of data mining for consumer profiling, there's also a need for personal data to be secure, but also limits how data may be used for potential customers. Member states of the European Union, EU, encompass law through both treaties and directives set out by various departments or directorates. Directorate E covers consumer protection, and the purpose of the directive is to produce pan-European Union laws to simplify and unite the EU member states. In slide 5 of your materials, there is a summary of the major UK and EU consumer laws. It is not a full list, but gives examples of how the laws cover consumer protection. Remember, these cover consumers and does not take into account the role of manufacturing or production, but the end product for consumption or purchase. All companies have to ensure compliance. In the next session, we'll explore segmentation. This is the key to understanding consumer behaviour and how the marketing mix requires separate marketing strategies for different segments or products and services.